Could there be tons of sources of formaldehyde in your home right now? Let's talk about it. So of course we get questions all the time from people who are concerned about the amount of formaldehyde that's in RetroFoam injection foam insulation. This is a fair question, but I do feel that it's rooted in a lot of misunderstanding about formaldehyde itself and really building materials in general. One way to think about this is a really simple fact. The cell phone or the computer you're watching this video on right now has way more formaldehyde than our foam insulation. But let's take a look a little bit deeper. First of all, let's address what is formaldehyde. Well, it is a colorless, strong smelling gas that does occur naturally in the environment. And why might some people be concerned by just the term formaldehyde? Well, it has a lot of negative connotations that are attached to it. People say it causes cancer and it's found in all these hazardous materials. And if you're exposed to it on any level, it will make you evaporate and die immediately. Well, you know, that might be slightly exaggerated, but depending on the article you read, that might be spot on. The point is that yes, in certain quantities and certain levels of exposure, formaldehyde can be harmful to people. What you'll be surprised at is how many sources in your home right now contain formaldehyde. Building materials such as resins that are used in making plywood, particle board, fiber board, different types of insulations, different types of glues, drywall adhesives, all types of building materials contain formaldehyde. Some household products that contain formaldehyde, many different fabrics, paints, coatings, lacquers, all different types of finishes, and paper products. Something else that contains a lot more formaldehyde than you might think, carpeting and furniture. Now keep in mind, formaldehyde is mostly used as a preservative, so it will be found in things like medications, cosmetics, dishwashing liquids, even fabric softener. One interesting note is formaldehyde is also a byproduct of combustion, meaning that gas appliances like stoves and ranges can produce formaldehyde also. Keep in mind, exhaust from cars and trucks and even cigarette smoke can contain formaldehyde. Now, as I said a moment ago, formaldehyde is naturally occurring, which means it is actually on and in many different foods and food products that we eat. So yes, that means for the past years and decades, you have been consuming very small amounts of formaldehyde. Some foods that contain formaldehyde are bananas, apples, grapes, plums, onions, carrots, spinach, seafood, beef, and poultry. Now, before you get too freaked out and throw away everything in your pantry, you gotta remember, quantity and potency really is the key when it comes to something that could potentially harm you. Water is something that we need to live every single day. However, if you were forced or if you had to drink 6 gallons in 10 minutes, that might not work out well for you. Again, quantity and potency. Something else I want you to remember, again, before you throw that food away, because I'm sure it's safe, check the expiration dates, but don't worry about the formaldehyde in it. Cyanide. Now this is something you've probably heard of, like maybe in a James Bond movie where a villain swallows a cyanide capsule or something like that, but we hear cyanide and we think poisonous, that's dangerous. Well, yes, it is in certain quantities. You may not have known, but apple seeds contain very, very small amounts of cyanide. You would have to eat many cups of apple seeds for it to be dangerous or lethal to a person. However, apple seeds do contain cyanide, and it's not something that is of concern of you. If you happen to swallow an apple seed or 2 or 3 when you're eating an apple, it's no big deal. But the point is, there are all these naturally occurring substances, gases, different things out in the world that in certain quantities will be harmful to us. But there are also certain quantities of these substances that will cause us no harm but can do a lot of other things. Formaldehyde is one of those products. It's used in almost every industry, mostly as a preservative, but in quantities that are safe to us. Again, many things in your house are covered in formaldehyde if you only look at it as a pass or fail. You have to think about, okay, this is at a safe level, like we just talked about apple seeds. I doubt you're going to stop buying apples because of that. Formaldehyde is something to be aware of in certain building materials or certain situations. It could be at a higher level and could potentially cause harm. Absolutely be aware of it. The amount of formaldehyde that's in the injection foam that we use, or any foam plastic that's used in any building material, of course is at a safe level that can be put in place in your home. There are many different things in your home that have a much higher concentration of formaldehyde than the foam that we use. I hope this was helpful and it maybe put you at ease a little bit, but if you want to learn more, which you should, go to the link below, go to our learning center. Again, we're just scratching the surface of this topic here, so please read articles, watch some of the videos, read the blogs that we have on that learning center so you can educate yourself about this topic and everything else building science related. This is the Professor of Foam reminding you that building is a science.